Hey everyone, thanks for joining the very first StepZen community update of March 2022.
Welcome, welcome.
So yeah, it's the very first time we're doing this, so you can follow us on YouTube, Twitch, and we try to do it on a Discord as well next time. So we've got a couple of updates we want to share, and I think the most important one is our improved getting started experience. So you might have known the first time you started to use StepZen, you probably looked into our docs and figured out how to get started from there. You no longer need to start at the docs because today we have a getting started page. It looks like this. So if you would go to stepzen.com/getting started with a dash in the middle, or you would sign up for an account, you'll end up at this page. And we actually were able to make our getting started experience way smoother because the only thing you need to do is follow a couple of commands, and then you should be able to run StepZen on your local machine, and then have it deployed by us for you in the cloud. So the first thing you would need to do is install our CLI, which is can be found on npm, and then of course you will need to log in. This auto-filled my key, but luckily the key is longer than this, so try to come up
Yeah.
maybe the last 20 or 30 extra characters. So when you're logged in, you can start by choosing your data source, for which we actually support multiple, and not even all the supported data sources are in here, as you will see later on in this update. So suppose you would have a MySQL Postgres database. The only thing you need to do is actually run this command, which is stepzen import MySQL or stepzen import PostgreSQL. And then the only thing you need to do is put in your database credentials, and then we'll be able to introspect the API for you. And I can show it for you, but the easiest part is just try it out yourself, because if you don't have a database just yet, you can try one of our examples. And this is actually a demo database. So if you would go to this database, you run stepzen import MySQL, you add these credentials, and then you run stepzen start. You actually already have a GraphQL API that's deployed for you in the cloud, which is quite neat. So I would advise everyone to just try it out. Enter the command, enter the credentials, and then see how we introspect your database.
Yeah,
And the
it's really
database
awesome to see the SDL just show up, as our product manager likes to say, auto magically, as soon as you run these commands. So it's a
yeah.
pretty slick service.
Yeah, definitely. So the database is already filled with some data. I believe it's about customers. So if you're in e-commerce, then maybe some things are recognizable for you. And of course, you can do the same thing for Postgres or even for a REST API. For a REST API, you need to take a couple more steps, including using our tool JSON to SQL, which, in case you don't know it yet, um, is this tool. And with this tool, you can actually create GraphQL schemas from JSON, which is quite neat. And you're actually going to need it if you start creating REST APIs using StepZen. Because if you would go to this API, you can actually copy paste the whatever is returned from here. This would be JSON. And if you would turn this REST API into a GraphQL API, the only thing you need to do is putting it in here and probably do it like this. Here we are looking for customers. And then you see like this, it automatically generates the SDL for you.
Right.
And
I just want to pause here and just talk about like what a time saver this has been for me. I start a lot of new projects within the context of StepZen, creating samples inside different front ends. And normally, what I do to show an example with an API is go into the API documentation, look at the response I want to get, and then try to parse out the structure of the API inside my GraphQL or inside my SDL. And then I would keep trying until I got it right, with a lot of errors along the way. So this saves, I don't know, probably a couple hours, at least a week for me. I really appreciate this little tool that we've come up with.
yeah, it's really cool. And actually, we'll probably in the next community updates, we even show more updates regarding using JSON for your GraphQL SDL. But that's something we will share next month with you. And then one final update we also made regarding the getting started experience is making it easy for you to figure out which endpoints you have. So if you want to get started with StepZen, you create your endpoints from your machine. Then the only way to find out your endpoints was by using the CLI. And today we also added it to our accounts page. So if you're like me and you have a lot of different schemas deployed, then this page will be quite long. But probably for most people, it will be a bit shorter. So if you ever get lost or lose track of all the APIs you have, you can just do it from here, copy it, and then you'll be able to, well, not from the browser, but if you have your endpoint for steps, and you can find it on the account tab, which I won't be sharing because my keys are in there. So next time I'm also going to be using a demo account just to be sure. So this is another nice improvement. It will be pretty easy for people to find out all the schemas they have deployed.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a big help, I think, in debugging too to see, right, am I hitting the endpoint that I think I'm hitting? Is that inside my list of deployed endpoints? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to test out this improved getting started experience, please go, well, you can find the link in the chat. Please check it out, because even if you already got started with StepZen, it can still be a nice way to figure out how to connect even more data sources. And then another update we have is regarding mocking capabilities.
Yeah, so we have a plethora, or I wouldn't say a plethora, probably like several custom directives at your disposal when you use StepZen. And one of them is at mock. I'm putting in a link to a blog post about how to use mocks in your GraphQL development workflow. And what's really nice about this directive is that you apply it to any type in your SDL, and then any query that returns that type will be automatically mocked with some lorem ipsum, which is really handy if you're, say, in the scenario in the blog post is you're a developer working for like a small town, and they're doing a Valentine's Day like incentive to get the local restaurants some not traffic, that's web dev, some more customers, and so but they're waiting to see your front end demo before they contract you. So, but you'd like your demo to be accurate as possible. So what you do is you look at the API, and even though they haven't given you the key yet to their, say they had their own Yelp account, you're able to mock the data exactly in the same structure as they're expecting. And another thing that you can do with StepZen is use @mockfn, and what that does is inside the type. If you look at the blog post, you can see an example of it there too. But you can determine exactly what mock values you give. So it's more than just lorem ipsum if you wanted to add a little granularity to your mocks.
Yeah, nice. I believe we also have a recording of the live stream we did last week or the week before, in which you can also find out about these all these new directives.
Yeah, yeah. I will go grab that link.
Yeah, so these mocking capabilities are also one of the well, new things we've been adding. You can also find more info on this on the documentation, and I think we can also share a link with you in the chat. And one of the other things you might have been having a look at our blogs. So usually a couple of times a week we post new content on our blog, usually about how to do something with StepZen or how to integrate a front end or backend framework together with StepZen. And now we also want to give the opportunity to other people to write for our blog. So maybe you're already writing for your personal blog or for some other company. And if you'd like to write about StepZen, please contact us at this new email address we have actually, which is questions@stepzen.com, or send me or Lucia a message on our Discord or maybe Twitter, whatever you like. And yeah, get in touch with us about the guest author opportunities, because we like to connect with the community. And for that, we also like people to write about the projects they made with StepZen.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Blogging is one of the things that's near and dear to my heart. And when I see other people blogging about the same things that I like to blog about, it's just really interesting and exciting to see the ideas that they would come up with, and to see them kind of share the knowledge in writing so that anybody can access it at any time is awesome.
Yeah, indeed. And also, if you don't know what to write about, maybe it would be nice to write about StepZen, so that it's also a nice opportunity to find some new subjects for your blog posts.
Exactly, because often with blog posts, uh, one of the issues you might run into is like, oh, I could write about, hooks and React for, the 1100th time that anybody's written about that, which is not knocking that. Like, it's a great way to get practice in, and you might reach people at your particular corner of the web that you wouldn't reach otherwise. But this is something new to write about and exciting to learn.
Yes, definitely. So if you are interested in this, please contact us at questions@stepzen.com. And then I think for this very first community update, it's nice to keep it a bit shorter. So we hope to see you all next time. So next time we'll be having even more updates. Like I mentioned, we're doing a lot of things around JSON and GraphQL SQL, and we're also making major improvements on our CLI. So I hope to see you all next time. It will be every month on the first Thursday, and the link will be shared through our Discord channel later on as well. So thank you for joining, everyone.
Thank you. Excited to hear what your responses are.
Bye-bye.